Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is Barbie's Supermodel for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I will also be playing the Genesis version as well, so you get two versions of the same game, because, well, it's really easy to play through. When you start the game, you can switch between Supermodel and Junior Model. Stick with Supermodel because that's the only difficulty with any semblance of difficulty. And the first of 4 stages has you driving around this pink convertible. Hold Y to speed up, hold B to slow down. You can never come to a full stop, so just go with it. By collecting hearts, you can increase the amount of chances you have to get through the game. If you lose all your chances, you have to continue. The stars will give you bonus points, and the stars with the B on them will give you more points than the ones that don't at the end of every stage. Also, we just picked up a shopping bag. This bag takes us to a magazine cover, and we have to match what Barbie is wearing on it all the way down into color. You can change the color around on certain parts by pressing Y, B, and A. Y changes the color of one part, B changes the color of a second part, and A changes the color of a third part. And if you accidentally skip over the color you want, you'll have to cycle through the colors all over again to get the one that you want. And the more stuff you match up, the more points you get. If you match all 4 parts, or all 3 parts of the wardrobe rather, there is another bonus game by the way, you get even more points. You do have a score in the top center of the screen during regular gameplay, but the points don't really mean anything. And now that we've completed the bonus stage, we get sent back to the beginning of this section. All of the stages will control exactly like this one, even though you will be using different modes of transportation to get from one side of the level to the other. Also, you can have a maximum of 4 chances, and you can't pick up any more after that. And here is a little dance routine that you can do. This will be for the end of the stage. So you'd better remember how that combination of 4 buttons went. And I just took some dumb hits right there. Yeah, that choreography thing we did before the second part of this level, we'll be doing that at the end of every level. And it's going to be a different combination of buttons each time. The camera will take you to the second bonus game. You've got another magazine cover, but this time around, you're matching up fingernail colors, lipstick colors, earrings, hairstyles, eyeshadow. And once again, the more stuff you get right, the more points you get. And if you match it up completely, you get even more bonus points out of it. Don't worry if you can't match everything up. The game lets you continue regardless of how poorly you do in these bonus levels. And hopefully, with any luck, I shouldn't be hitting anything. I say as I hit something a 3rd time. I usually do better at this game than this, but thankfully we do get a second chance there. And I hope that you remembered what buttons you pressed during the choreography practice between the 2 sections of the stage, because you're going to have to press them all to get through this. And the more you remember and the more stuff you get done, the more points you'll get. Again, regardless of how poorly you do through that part, you'll still continue on to the second stage, where you're now on rollerblades, dressed in yellow and purple, trying to get to the other side of the beach. Here you'll be avoiding other people, beach balls, seagulls, frisbees, just trying to get through this whole beach without getting hit. It is advisable to watch the shadows of the frisbees in order to avoid them. They can be hard to avoid at times. You also don't want to run into the sides, the top or bottom sides of a level, regardless of which part of the game you're in, because that will also damage you as well. And now we got another fashion magazine cover that we have to match up. You have to cycle through all these different wardrobes with left and right, and it does get kinda slow. I can imagine little girls having the patience to play this game, but if you're like older than maybe 7 or something, you probably won't have that much patience and you'll probably get bored of this game really quick. You'll also probably beat it in 20 minutes or less. And I didn't match everything up, so that's kinda lame. There are very similar looking shades of colors in these mini games, and they can throw you off. And I slowed down here to get that star. Also, I'm coming back with the chances too. I don't think you have to collect all the stars or do all the mini games, but it does help. It does help you get a bunch of points that won't mean anything. And there we were with another choreography session, the little fashion modeling practice at the end of the first section of the stage. So now we're going all the way back to the left side. It should be mentioned that the way that the level looks during the second section, it looks the same way as the first. You have to steel yourself for anything that will come your way, but it can be done. Also, it may probably be me, but when you first look at these magazine covers, you don't get a lot of time to look at them and memorize them, so you have to do your best to memorize them as quickly as you can. The Genesis version, you actually have the luxury for looking as long as you want. And I got hit by a frisbee there, really dumb move by me. Thankfully, I get out of the way that time around. And Barbie looks like she's wearing next to nothing in that two-piece. I'm surprised. Anyway, we're done with half the game already. And now we're going on to the ski resort where we're dressed for the winter, and we're now trying to avoid snowballs, ice on the ground, other people, especially kids on sleds. We're going to be seeing them shortly. And of course, snowballs that are being thrown at us. The snowballs are probably the hardest thing to avoid because you can never tell quite where they're going to land. It's not like well, you do have shadows with those apparently, but even then, they're kind of hard to anticipate exactly where they're going to land. And sometimes you may feel that you may not get hit by them, but eventually you may. They feel a little more dodgy than the frisbees in my opinion. So now we gotta match up a winter coat. And I think this is the first one that I get right. I'm actually doing these in post-commentary, so I can give you one version with commentary and one version without. I'm doing this not only with the Super Nintendo version, but I'm also doing this with the Sega Genesis version as well. And we are finally at the one that I want, so let's change that to silver and sky blue there. Make the boots white, make the pants pink. And we finally matched everything, which means we get the full 300 points out of that. The makeup bonus game, you can get a maximum total of 320 points if you match all 5 things on that. I should also mention that when you do a bonus stage, you go back to the beginning of the section you were playing on, and you have to collect the stars all over again. However, if you do that, you do give yourself a opportunity to collect chances to go back to your maximum of 4 in case you ever get hit before you make it to the bonus stage. So that's a really nice plus. So it really does help to get to the bonus stages regardless of how well you're doing, because, well, you may get hit before you reach it, and you may be needing those extra bonus chances there. And after some choreography practice, we're now going in reverse. We're finally going to the left side of the stage. The whole game is like this. Once you've played through the first level, you've practically played through all of them. And I believe that I get an easy one to remember, so that kind of helps. In case you don't know how to play this one, because I failed to explain it, the heart is the cursor. You move to one of the 5 things, and you cycle through the colors for each thing: the makeup, the eyeshadow, the lipstick, the hairstyle, the earrings, with the Y and B buttons. And despite my best efforts, I still couldn't match them all up, and I don't get the maximum amount of points. But that's okay, because this game is meant for small children, especially young girls, who are probably younger than maybe 7 years old. Hey, it's fun for the whole family. It's Barbie. And I'm glad that I used the B button, held that button down near the end so I didn't slip on the ice. That would have been very embarrassing there. And we are finally done with the 3rd stage, so now it's time to take on the 4th and final stage. Here, we're on a bicycle and we're going through the park. A lot of people will tell you this. The sprite of Barbie running around the bike is really huge. Even if it hits the back wheel, you can even if anything hits the back wheel, like a frisbee or a seagull or anything, you're still gonna get hit. So you really have to take your time when it comes to maneuvering and watch for anything that will come your way. Also, I narrowly missed that shopping bag. It's kinda hard to tell sometimes whether you're lined up with an object on the ground, especially if it's like the shopping bag or the camera that take you to the mini games. This is probably the hardest stage to do out of the 4 because of how weird the bike acts, how basically the whole hitbox of the bike. Because 1 is huge compared to the hitbox you have on all the other stages, and 2, it's hard to line yourself up with some stuff, like what I did with the bags before I got to this mini game, which I almost missed. You get used to it quickly, kinda, but it'll probably take like a couple of playthroughs through this final stage to figure out what you can and can't do with the bike. It's still the same as every other stage, it's just the bike kind of has some disadvantages to it. Also, this is probably the best music out of the 4 for the Super Nintendo version. Believe it or not, the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis / Mega Drive versions actually have different soundtracks. I actually like the Sega Genesis version music better than the Super Nintendo version. This sounds like anything I could get out of a second-rate licensed game anyway. Genesis actually sounds better, and it actually fits the sound chip for that version too. And I nearly die in this section, but thankfully I managed to get one more chance there. Again, I did not do very well in this run, at least by my standards. And we have one last wardrobe game before we finally end this. That's pretty much all I have to say about the game, so I might as well go ahead and mention my opinion of this game as we wrap this up. You can kind of tell what everything looks like. Graphics are okay. They could be a little better, but this is high-tech expressions. Don't expect much. Sound and music are just okay. I do like the music here a little bit. especially for the first and fourth stages maybe. But the overall quality of the music actually pales in comparison to the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive version. Play control, it's alright. It kind of does what you would expect it to. Doesn't really feel like a delay between you pressing the button and the action being done. And when I play this again, well, I guess if I was less than 7 years old, I probably would, or if I had nothing better to do. Just to see Barbie do that one more time, and then see the credits. Not much of an ending there. So yeah, once you complete all 4 stages, you just get to see Barbie in the dress that you saw her in the tile screen on. And that's basically it. You can play this game again if you want to, but that's definitely not going to happen today. So it will when I play the other version. So stay tuned for that. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later!